Have you ever wondered why the church celebrates the Feast of the Presentation of the Lord? What significance does this event have for our faith and our lives today? Let's take a closer look at this beautiful feast and its profound meaning in our journey of faith. The Feast of the Presentation of the Lord, celebrated on February 2nd, commemorates an important event in the life of Jesus and his parents. As recorded in the Gospel of Luke, 2:22-40, Mary and Joseph, in obedience to the law of Moses, brought the infant Jesus to the temple in Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. This moment fulfilled the Jewish law, which required the firstborn son to be consecrated to God. It was also a moment of great significance in the life of Jesus, his family, and the entire world. But why is this event so important for us as Catholics? First, we must recognize that it marks a moment when the light of the world was revealed to the people. In the temple, the elderly prophet Simeon and the prophetess Anna recognized Jesus as the long-awaited Messiah. Simeon, upon seeing the child, praised God, saying, "My eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the presence of all peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel." Luke 2 verses 30-32. This is why the feast is often referred to as the Feast of the Light, symbolizing the light of Christ entering into the world. This event also highlights the humility and obedience of Jesus and his family. Though Jesus is the Son of God, he submits to the laws of his people, showing us the importance of living in obedience to God's will. Mary and Joseph's actions demonstrate a deep faith and reverence for God's commandments. By presenting Jesus in the temple, they acknowledge him as the gift from God and offer him back to the Father. The Feast of the Presentation invites us to reflect on the importance of presenting our lives to God. Just as Jesus was presented in the temple, we, too, are called to offer ourselves in prayer, in service, and in obedience to God's will. This feast is a reminder that our lives are not our own but belong to God. We are called to live in the light of Christ and share that light with the world around us. Another powerful aspect of this feast is the prophetic words of Simeon. He prophesied that Jesus would be the cause of the rising and falling of many in Israel, and he foretold the suffering that Mary would endure. Simeon's words foreshadow the passion and crucifixion of Jesus, reminding us that following Christ may require sacrifice. As followers of Jesus, we are also called to carry our crosses and remain faithful to him, even in the face of trials. The Feast of the Presentation is also a celebration of the role of women in God's plan of salvation. It is Mary, the mother of Jesus, who brings him to the temple and offers him up to God. Her example of faith, humility, and devotion is one that we, as Catholics, strive to imitate in our own lives. The presentation of Jesus in the temple highlights the importance of family and the role of parents in nurturing and guiding their children in the faith. In conclusion, the Feast of the Presentation of the Lord invites us to reflect on the light of Christ that enters our lives and the world. It calls us to offer our lives to God in obedience and service, just as Jesus did. It reminds us that following Christ may come with sacrifice, but it also brings the promise of salvation. On this feast day, let us open our hearts to Christ, the light of the world, and strive to live as his faithful disciples. Amen.